Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu Folge 9 von Highway Blossoms. Was ist letztes Mal passiert? Marina und Amber sind zurückgekehrt von ihrer nicht erfolgreichen Suche nach dem zweiten Stück des Schatzes. Haben mal geschaut nach dem dritten Stück. Und das ist in einem Park zwischen zwei Steinen. Amber weiß welcher Park, aber zwei Steine ist nicht so hilfreich. Wir sind trotzdem auf dem Weg dahin. Nee, stimmt gar nicht. Marina möchte unbedingt zum Grand Canyon, der in der entgegengesetzten Richtung liegt. Amber ist nett und nimmt sie erstmal zum Grand Canyon. Und danach gehen sie in den Park. Mit den zwei Steinen. Ja, sounds about right. My everything aches. It takes me a long, lazy minute to remember why I'm sitting up, for I had plaster to the steering wheel rather than in my bed. I drove all through the night to get us to the Grand Canyon, arriving at the south rim right around the time that I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. That's dangerous. We're in a campsite, apparently, but I don't remember anything past reaching the park's edge and paying the entry fee. I probably shouldn't have been driving, but we made it here alright. A sour taste pervades my mouth, courtesy of the empty energy drink at my side. Der zweite von Marina oder der erste? I groan as I clamber up and head to go brush my teeth. Ja. Yeah. Sorry. When I exit the bathroom, Marina's waiting at the front, all dressed and ready to go.
Good morning!
Oh.
Morning.
Ja. I'm still too sleepy to match her enthusiasm. Ja. Du solltest... Achso, hat sie jetzt richtig geschlafen oder nicht? Undeterred, she comes forward and presses a mug into my hand.
I made you some coffee. But it was a couple of hours ago, so it's kinda cold now.
Thanks.
Oh, sie ist schon die ganze Zeit wach, oder? It's also brewed too weak, but I don't tell her that. I drain my cup in seconds and then pour myself another. That's also finished in a few long gulps.
You really like coffee, huh?
No, I'm just really dead right now.
I guess. I think I'm just addicted.
Oder das trifft doch die meisten Kaffeetrinker zu. Kaffee ist eine Droge.
You don't even put any cream or sugar in it, right?
No. Wie heißt die Dinge auf Englisch? Scheiße. Das verwirrt mich immer ein bisschen. And no chips either. Ja, sorry. Musst du zu lange nachdenken. Chips. Pommes. Ah, weird.
Nope. I always drink it black.
She wrinkles her nose in disgust.
I can't stand the taste.
Ja, noch ein Grund, keinen Kaffee zu trinken. Also wenn du irgendwas in dein Getränk machen musst, weil es ohne dieses etwas Scheiße schmeckt, dann trink es einfach nicht, sondern nur das andere, was du da reinmachst, damit es gut schmeckt. Basically, okay, ja, trink nicht nur Zucker, aber ja. Nein.
I noticed. Have you gone and looked around yet?
There are dozens, if not hundreds of people milling around, and that's just what I can see from here. Most likely treasure hunters, was? Im Grand Canyon? Okay.
Look around. Without you?
Yeah. It's what? Noon?
Almost, but I didn't want to leave without you.
That's sweet of her.
What if I got lost? You're like my map.
Was war das? Human Travel Guide? Maybe not.
Besides, it's boring to go look around by myself.
You think? I used to do it lots before we met up. It was nice to be alone and think.
Hint, hint. Her face falls. Seconds later, I realize my mistake and mentally kick myself.
Not to say I don't like having you around. I just meant it's not so bad being on your own for a little bit.
She ponders for a moment.
Well, I don't like being alone.
Well, I don't like being alone. Ich habe gerade so dabei Hermine vor mir gesehen. A small frown makes me think she's upset, but then it melts away and is But then it melts away and is replaced with her trademark smile. Something about how the sunlight frames her face right then makes my heart skip a beat. I want to admire her for longer, but I think my face gives it away. Soon she shifts, asking with her eyes.
Something wrong?
I shake my head to clear it.
Nah, sorry. just zoned out for a second. Let me finish this coffee, and then we can go.
Okay. I don't know how you can be up and at 'em just like that. Usually it takes me hours to wake up.
I know. I do a lot of waiting for you.
Marina stomps over to play, hit me on the shoulder.
Meanie, I do my best for you.
Yeah. There aren't enough hours in the day for you to sleep as much as you want.
What? Are you saying I don't need my beauty sleep?
She's just kidding, but I freeze. She's joking, right?
Amber?
The jaunty tone in her voice is gone. Was ist jaunty? Wörterbuch. Fröhlich.
Yeah.
I croak out a response.
Zone out again?
All the time.
Something like that.
Even I'm surprised by how off guard that caught me. It was just a simple joke, but it was a little too relevant. Seconds after thinking of how pretty she looked. Looks. I need to stop being so weird sometimes, or that'll scare her off more than her finding out that I might, just maybe, could possibly have a crush on her. Das ist einfach ein bisschen Komma, nur ist so. I need to stop being so weird sometimes. Ja, das fühle ich so. Den Rest weniger, aber. Ja! Ah.
Maybe you just need more coffee.
Probably.
Her grin gets huge.
You need as much coffee as I do sleep.
That's her beauty coffee.
See? We're even.
I laugh as I pour myself a third cup, tilting the pot to get the dregs.
Maybe you're right.
She prances back to the front door, nose held in the air like she's won some great victory. I catch her peeking back to see if I'm watching, so I make a big show of rolling my eyes. She sticks her tongue out in return. When I set my cup down in the sink, Marina throws the door open and waits for me to step out. For having been mostly asleep and in the dark, it looks like I did an okay job parking. By which I mean that we're actually in one of the designated camping spaces. Diese Background gibt mir instant Flashbacks zu Neuseeland. Das erste Mal in meinem Leben, das einzige Mal in meinem Leben, die einzigen Male in meinem Leben, dass ich auf dem Campingplatz war, glaube ich. That's more than I can say for a lot of the others here. Ja, indecent people, die aber nicht kehren und, ja, nein, Tents cover nearly every patch of land that doesn't have an RV on it. Some even come right up against the road itself, causing the few cars that pass by to have to hug the edge. Just like back in Shiprock, this is a fiasco. Squads of little kids rampage around, squirting each other and everyone else with water guns and just being in the way. One little brat runs up to us and holds up his squirt gun like he's going to shoot me, but the death glare that I give him, sends him running back in the other direction. Who needs water guns if you have the death glare?
Not a fan of kids?
Not the rotten ones.
Marina, on the other hand, waves at the retreating boy and giggles as a weak burst of water hits her.
I don't know how you can stand it.
They're just kids.
I'm gonna have to side with Amber, I think. Ich finde Kinder eigentlich nice so, aber eigentlich können Kinder halt auch ziemlich scheiße sein. Viele so. Ja. Nein, danke.
Besides, I'm pretty used to it.
Ja. Wie viele jüngere Geschwister hatte sie? Die Hälfte war jünger, die Hälfte war älter? Nee, 3 waren jünger, glaube ich. Nee. Ah, nee, nevermind. Sie hatte 3 Schwestern und 5 Brüder. So war das, oder? Whatever.
Big family, right?
Yep.
We start to walk in the direction of the canyon itself, pausing sometimes to let cars or tour groups pass us by.
This is such a mess. Wonder how many of them are treasure hunters.
Im Grand Canyon. Haben die alle den Canyon... Nee, haben die alle Chelly's Canyon nicht daraus gelesen aus dem Journal?
Well, It's the Grand Canyon, so a lot of people are probably just regular tourists, right?
Das habe ich eigentlich auch gedacht.
Yeah, probably. I feel bad for them. And all the other people who just want to enjoy these parks.
Until you damn treasure hunters. Komm.
You really hate people, huh?
Ja! Ja!
What? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. You're just always complaining about there being too many people around.
Maybe you don't hate people, but you just like being alone. Do I really complain that much? Yeah. Thinking about it, I guess I do.
I don't hate people. I just don't like when it's all chaotic like this.
So you don't like crowds then?
That's closer, yeah.
Ja.
Kinda weird that you're so hyped for this music thing then, don't you think? Isn't that gonna be the biggest crowd yet?
Exakt das habe ich auch gerade gedacht.
Sure, but that's different.
Why?
I don't know. Just is.
Weil sie den Spirit von denen fühlt. Ja, die sind aus dem gleichen Grund da wie sie.
Why?
What are you, 5? No wonder you get along with kids so well.
We both laugh.
But I guess it's just because everyone is there for the same thing. You have something in common with them.
Hier nicht? Na okay, Marina ist hier for the same thing.
Isn't everyone here for the same thing?
Ja.
Yeah, but
Ja, es fühlt sich anders an. Ich weiß schon, was sie meint, glaube ich. I struggle to find an explanation. But she laughs it off and shrugs.
I'm just kidding anyway. You can't be the only one who teases. You don't like big crowds, and that's fine.
what about you?
I think it's fun. And besides, you get to meet all sorts of cool people. Who knows? Maybe you'll meet a special someone or a long-lost relative or something.
Nee. Special someone, huh?
Maybe. Would be pretty unlikely, though.
Since I already got my special someone. Oh.
Probably.
Sorry.
But it's still fun to think about. And speaking of odds, Amber.
Oh, for real. Marina points at another cluster of motorhomes down the road. And there she is. I follow her gaze, immediately understanding. Taking up 2 space because of size and bad parking is a familiar titan of an RV.
God, no.
But Marina's already heading towards it. Oh god, my nemesis. Mariah's motorhome. The door flies open seconds before Marina reaches it. Out strolls Joseph, Tess close behind.
You call that a break? You've had boyfriends that last longer.
Warte, was? Ist das nicht normal? Ist bei ihr das Verhältnis so schlimm umgekehrt? Was?
Sis has never had a boyfriend.
Maybe that's what he meant.
My point exactly.
See?
Quit your moaning. You two just need more work ether.
You mean ethics, but you've probably never heard the word.
Mariah appears in the doorway, leaning on a shovel. I can see her about to retort, but then she spots either me or Marina, and her glare is replaced with a smug grin.
Well, well, well. Look who finally caught up.
Hey guys!
Oh, hey there, ladies.
I sigh and speed up my glacial pace. May as well get this over with. Mariah picks up a crate of tools from beside her and carries them out before shoving the crate into Joseph's hands. His knees buckle at the weight and he sets it on the ground.
Did you follow our dust all the way here?
I wish we'd seen it so we could have stayed away.
Maybe you should go now and get a head start on the next piece before we find the one here.
She clutches the shovel like a sword and points it at me. Glaubt die jetzt, dass das, was Amber für Chelly's Canyon gehalten hat, ist der Grand Canyon? Oder ist sie bei einem ganz anderen Piece of the Treasure? Wie viele gibt es?
Unless you're gonna fight us for this one too.
I raise my hands and surrender.
We already had one bust at Canyon Duche. This one's all yours to screw up.
The shovel drops a couple inches, either as a response or because her arm's getting sore.
Canyon to say? But there's only one Grand Canyon.
Wait.
There's more than one canyon in the world, Mayor.
Figured it was there at the Mummy Cave ruins, but we didn't find anything. So if you want to search all 2,000 miles of the Grand Canyon, then good luck.
Damn it!
Mariah throws down her hands and the tool bag slips from her, plummeting onto Joseph's foot. Hard. The crates in his hand are the next to fall, this time onto the other. Oh man. Onto the other foot. Boy. The boxes burst open, flooding the ground with heavy hammers and wrenches. A gasp escapes his mouth, then silence.
Are you gonna get drunk and cry yourself to sleep again, sis?
Oh, smoked his. Somehow, through paint grunts, Joseph manages to speak.
The limit is once per week.
Mariah's eyes twitch. In one smooth motion, she whirls around and clonks her companion's heads, huffs, and crosses her arms. Schon eingeübt hier. Joseph reacts like any normal human being and rubs his head to soothe his never-ending pain. Tess hardly acknowledges it, wobbling back and forth like a human bobblehead. I don't think I'll ever get over how creepy that girl is. Dead inside. Oof. She clonks Joseph again for good measure. Marina and I both wince. I imagine this is how it was for Howard when he first met Linda. Nur, dass Linda wahrscheinlich denkt, sie tätschelt dir den Kopf und haut dir dann voll eine rein. Genauso wie wenn sie dir den Arm ausreißt, während sie dir die Hand schüttelt.
At least we get to see the canyon that way.
Yeah.
Jesus!
Ich sneak auch mal Leute von hinten ran und sage, at least we get to see the canyon that way. From out of nowhere, Tess pops up at my side.
Tess has been wanting to go out and see the sights, but Mariah's too busy breaking her back for that.
Big sisters are bossy, huh?
Tess nods, which prompts Marina to stoop down and hug her apathetic kindred spirit.
You're not alone!
Marina looks up at me, eyes big.
Can we keep her? She's so cute!
What? Okay.
That's property theft!
Property.
Sorry, only one stray at a time.
Aww.
Oh. Marina releases Tess and reaches out her hand as they float apart.
Anyway, let's get going. If they're gonna waste all day here, we can at least leave them to it.
But Mariah waves a shovel in Joseph's face.
Pick up our crap. We gotta rethink our strategy.
Crap?
Yes! This crap!
She taps the crate that she forced on him just minutes ago. Joseph covers Tess' ears, then mutters something that I can't make out. Oof.
Wait, I have an idea.
4 pairs of eyes turn to look at her.
Me and Amber were about to go sightseeing. Why don't you guys come with us?
Ja, genau!
That's a terrible idea!
Ah, wundervoll.
Hey, we agree on something.
But Tess' eyes sparkle with determination, nodding as she reaches up to tug on Mariah's suit. Ich glaube nicht, dass man das als Suit bezeichnen kann.
That's one vote yes.
She turns to me, pleading look in her eyes, hoping to make 2 yes votes.
I think that sounds like a good time too.
Oof.
It'd be a nice break.
I forbid it! You've already had a break!
Oh.
We have too much to focus on. Getting distracted by dusty old rocks is the last thing we need.
You always say that, but look at her.
He points to Tess, her face shining with interest since the word sightseeing.
When did she last show interest in something? Hell, has she ever shown interest in something?
Wind chimes? Made of license plates? If I remember correctly.
We're still not going.
An irritable groan rumbles through Joseph's throat, but he still looks as casual and relaxed as he usually does.
Look, we're not always going to do what you want just because you say so.
Boah. Krass. Hat er eh schon jemals widersprochen vorher?
We're going, and if we have to, we'll force you to come along.
Oof. Marina laughs awkwardly.
It's fine, it's fine. You guys don't have to come if you don't want to.
Ooh, but it's too late for that. Mariah lets out a single disingenuous ha and marches to Joseph.
You're gonna force me to go, huh?
That's right.
Was passiert jetzt? Kriegen wir ein Wrestling-Match? She stares him down. Or up, to be accurate. The top of her head only reaches up to his chin. Regardless, she gives him a nasty grin and repeatedly pokes his chest for daring to defy her. This doesn't seem to faze him though, as his lips curl into an ominous smile.
And how exactly do you plan to do that?
Ich wollte... ich wollte wissen, was ist passiert. Damn. Vast and majestic, the canyon dominates the horizon as far as my eyes can see. Calico rocks are given a murky tint by the dying sunlight. It's a breathtaking view. I just stare out over the abyss. Metaphors for life. I just stare out over the abyss, watching as the sun slowly climbs down the sky.
What are you even looking at?
She says it flatly, not like a question. Mariah's been this way for hours now, since Joseph practically dragged her out of the RV. Oof. While the other three have amused themselves with disposable cameras and curiosity, Mariah's tailed me like a mangy dog. Was heißt mangy? Mangy? Eklig, räudig, krätzig. Okay. She won't let me forget about her relentless apathy, punctuating it with frequent sighs.
I'm looking at the cliffs. And considering sending you to get a closer look at the bottom.
This is your fault, you know.
What is?
That we're here. Or at least that I'm here.
Ist jetzt nicht so sad deswegen?
Hey, I didn't want you along either. That was all Marina.
Just tell that airhead no sometime. Guessing you've never turned down a request of hers in your life.
That's quite accurate, actually. I shoot her a dirty look at the word airhead. Mariah rolls her eyes. She doesn't care one bit.
She wanted to play with Tess. Someone has to.
Joe does it all the time.
Immerhin. Wenn sie ihre Schwester schon nicht macht. Sad. Her ability to miss the point is actually kind of impressive.
Besides, you should see the look I get if I try to stop her from something. Maybe I can't say no.
Be more like me. Mental fortitude and training.
It's almost breaking down when someone threatens to take away the key to your liquor cabinet part of mental fortitude and training.
Okay. Nice, gefällt mir. Good job, Joseph. She clicks her tongue in annoyance and grumbles.
I could have still said no. I was just doing it for Tess.
Of course. I turn my attention over to the impromptu photo shoot again. Both the girls climb on the rocks and lean against the railings to take pictures. Joseph trails close behind, probably to make sure nobody slips. Sometimes he's pulled in for a picture too. Marina's taken pictures. Pixels. Marina's taken pictures of just about everything. The sky, the ground, and pouting Mariah. As a photographer, she's not very picky. Tess, on the other hand, seems to have an actual knack for it. She's taken pictures of scenic valleys and close-ups of beautiful desert flowers in full bloom, usually with Joseph as the model. She even managed to get close enough to take one of an eagle perched on a rock. Schlecht. Not hard when you're practically invisible, though.
I don't even know why she's so interested in this stuff.
What? The wonder and majesty of naturally formed geographic wonders?
The wonder and majesty of... wonders? Yeah.
That's a fancy way of saying overgrown rocks.
I mean, she's not that wrong.
Who cares? Shouldn't you be glad that she is?
Why? I'd prefer if she cared about something that matters.
Like getting rich?
Exactly. It's Americana this, sightseeing that. What the hell even is Americana?
Das ist eine gute Frage. Kann mir das Wörterbuch weiterhelfen oder klärt Amber das sowieso gleich? Amerikanismen. Das ist nicht hilfreich.
Don't mess with Texas shirts and old rocking chairs that some hicks farted on.
Do you ever listen to yourself talk? Just be happy she's interested in culture and expanding her horizons.
Culture? Our favorite foods are bastardized versions of foreign cuisine.
Sie ist so stolz, wenn sie das sagt.
Culture's a sham. When I was her age, I was interested in things that actually mattered. Like treasure.
Years later, and nothing's changed.
Since the other girls are taking a break, Joseph has joined us.
They want to take some pictures with you.
Wem? Mariah starts a protest, but Joseph cuts her off.
Your sister wanted me to ask.
Her mouth shuts, and she rolls her eyes yet again.
Fine.
She stalks over to where they are, kicking up clouds of dust with each heavy step.
Sorry if she's causing you trouble. She can be a bit of a handful.
Du hast unser immerwährendes Mitleid, Joseph. Jeden Tag schließen wir dich in unsere Gebete ein, die wir nicht sprechen, aber you get what I mean.
I know it's hard to believe, but there's a good heart in there. Somewhere.
She'd probably sell it for $1 if she could.
Joseph laughs heartily.
You might be right. That's just how she is, I guess. Been that way since we were kids.
Wie hält das mit ihr aus? Ernsthaft? Das muss mega nervig sein. It's hard to imagine that someone could not only know Mariah as a child, but want to maintain a friendship with her for the rest of their lives. Ja. Come to think of it, Joseph's a bit of an odd case compared to the other two. Odd just because he's so normal.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
Do you care about the treasure?
He scratches the stubble on his chin and thinks about it.
Like, you have a good head on your shoulders. Why do you let her drag you around?
Well, it's not that I don't care about the treasure. Being rich doesn't sound like a bad gig at all. But I wouldn't say I have a good head on my shoulders either. If it came down to treasure hunting or kicking back on a couch all day, I'd pick the couch.
Figures.
His own broad smile returns. I didn't even notice it disappear.
But as for them, one of them needs someone to look out for her, and the other is 10.
Maximale disrespect. Now we both laugh.
She's the one who gets me off the couch. I'm the one who gets her to sit down sometimes. Even back in school, she was always picking fights. Didn't matter if it was another kid or a teacher. Got her ass kicked a couple times. If she were all on her own, she'd tear apart the whole Southwest. That makes sense?
Mal wieder eine nette Story schon wieder. I look over at where the three of them are still taking pictures. Tess is standing on a rock so that she's at the same level as the others. Right now, two of her fingers hold Mariah's mouth into the shape of a smile. On Mariah's other side, Marina holds the camera out and takes the picture. Then Tess takes one, though Marina keeps her hand out of Mariah's mouth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Plus, someone's gotta make sure Tess doesn't starve.
Oof. Catching us watching, Marina waves vigorously. She nearly knocks Mariah's lights out while she does. I wave back. Tess says something that gets Marina's attention, and after a second, Marina hurries over. I wince as I watch her clumsily climb over the rocks, scared that she's going to slip and hurt herself. But she arrives unharmed.
Tess wanted me to ask if you'd go be in the pictures too, Joe. She says she wants all three of you.
Looks like that's my cue.
With nothing more to say, he drifts over to the others and exchanges spots with Marina. Tess passes him the camera and he holds it up to his eye.
Why are you using this cheap thing anyway? The camera on Mariah's phone is way better.
He takes the camera from Tess and dangles it from his fingers, observing it like it's an ancient, long-buried artifact.
The memory is full from all her journal entries.
This?
Journal?
It's more like gangsty poetry.
Mariah turns toward me, panic and fury in her eyes, but she's too slow. Ooh,
How does that one go again? Oh yeah.
No.
Rivers of amber pour from my body like tears, forever sweeping El Dorado beyond my grasp.
Das ist gar nicht mal so schlecht eigentlich. Mariah slouches.
I hate you both.
Oh, but we love you, Mariah.
Tess clings to her sister's waist like a magnet, showing her affection. It goes ignored.
Now squeeze in. I'm not sure how we're all gonna fit.
We watch for a moment before I tap Marine on the shoulder. That should keep them busy for a while.
Quick, while they're distracted.
What?
I grab Marina's hand and dash off, dragging her behind me. Her feet have trouble keeping up, but I don't slow down. I don't look back.
Just keep running.
Amber, where are we going?
Was?